I do so swear.
Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Today, na Tuesday, number 9 day for the month of November 2021. My name na Capo Daniel, the Ambazonian Governing Council Deputy Defense Chief for the Ambazonia Defense Forces. This one na my daily podcast for una. Yesterday, Monday country Sunday, marked 39 years for power since Mr. Paul Biya take over La République du Cameroon as their president. Paul Biya Bartolomeo Bivondo na the oldest president for Africa. Paul Biya na 88-year-old. He be married to Shanta Biya, a woman wey be 37-year-old younger than he. A woman wey dem murder a husband, a Mancon boy, take away a two pikin dem when dem born am inside their civil marriage. Inside Paul Biya house, you get two Amber boys dem wey dem no fit come back home for see their papa a village. Paul Biya, wey time wey become for power, the people dem for Ambazonia be see like a breath of fresh air, hoping say the man wey he be done almost become a priest, wey be kicked away from seminary because he thief sugar. Na he dan be now the patron, the colonizer over the so-called 2 cubes of sugar, Ambazonia. Paul Biya na a person wey dey drink blood, human blood, according to a doctor and close friend Titus Ezwa, for the book wey dan publish am, wey detail the occultic nature wey dey work inside Etudi for Yaoundé. These are the vampires the French government have left behind to manage their plantations in Ambazonia. Paul Biya become president for La République du Cameroon since 1982. Before that, he began be prime minister for over 7 years, making him the longest ever serving leader, war leader in the whole world. One go think say, at this age, after 39 years in power, the octogenarian go dey think for retire, but no. There are still calls for Mr. Paul Biya Bivondo to remain the president of La République du Cameroon. This was manifested yesterday as they behold several prayer groups and meeting them with the CPDM people for Yaoundé. The call say Paul Biya is still run again for election for La République du Cameroon. There is no hope for Cameroon to ever have change. Even if Paul Biya was to put Brenda Biya to be the next president of La République du Cameroon, there is nothing their citizen or anyone can do to change it. They are all a country of cowards. The continued reign of Mr. Paul Biya Bivondo should be one of the greatest indications for Ambazonia to not want anything to do with that country called La République du Cameroon, a state and a country that is supposed to be an independent country, being run from the French embassy, should not be a country that anybody wants to associate with. This is the worst of the worst, and Ambazonia should get the hell out of there. Dwelling on this subject of Mr. Paul Biya 39 years reign as the president of La République, as well as the colonizer of Ambazonia, it is befitting for me to dwell back in our own history as the people of Southern Cameroon and give to our people some unspoken or less spoken details of what the British Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia, was all about, and some internal politics that is not well known to our people. I go on for take Ambazonian back to our last elected leader of the Southern British Cameroon, Ambazonia, John Foncha, our Prime Minister, since there is no much to talk about or hope for in the octogenarian Paul Biya. Maybe we'll go back for John Foncha. Who was John Foncha? John Foncha, Nankwen boy, for inside the great state of Mezam. In the 1950s, John Foncha been a headmaster for Big Mancon Primary School. The primary school was a Catholic school. At that time, they be called an RCM school. And the bishop will be the oversee that school. He will be a Catholic bishop, Bishop Rogan. If you not remember very well, the college, Bishop Rogan College, it will be named after that bishop. It will be very influential, and it will be like the mentor, man will be the guide John Foncha for a life in more than one way. And it will be crucial for a career as he will be headmaster under he. So when John Foncha become prime minister after he win election for Ambazonia, or Southern Cameroon, as you may choose to call it, after a term of office be finished, he be supposed for a second term, he be supposed for pick another person, may replace he. And normally, since na a party be the one way he be done win election, he KNDP, he next in line for the KNDP, be supposed for being a successor naturally, as a choice for run as the next candidate. Muna be being the next in line as the second under Foncha for a party. So he be naturally supposed to be now the next person with Foncha be supposed to put him, make it replace he as the prime minister, as a candidate for prime minister. But before Foncha be take that decision, he be come back, come visit for Bamenda Bishop Rogan. Bishop Rogan he be tell Foncha say, Muna no be Catholic, na Protestant. So he find me John Foncha, he choose na person way no be when a Catholic also. Make no go choose na Protestant person where like where Muna be na Protestant. So Foncha bypass his second in command, Muna, for go pick Joa, when a Catholic like himself, we come up for Ginicum, the great state of Bui. Now for the way Wahala start. Now for the way all thing for Southern Cameroon is Chakara. And this one, it remind me for which will happen for our revolution now. We leadership, it turn into personal and it can compromise national security. Every time a leader ignore protocol, ethics, it get huge impact or consequences for the nation. When I remember, Seseko, it be ignore the constituent member of Skakuf, when they be like the shareholder them or the parliament, the overseer for the executive branch. He ignored them against the constitution laid down rules of the founding documents of Skakuf that for create the IG. Till today, na that wahala, it don't for pursue we till today. Now the same wahala where we bring division, that way they be appoint our Tom and Jerry, Mark Barata and Tapang Ivor as interim president for consortium. That way the most senior member for the consortium he emerged, Tasang Wilfred from Nigeria. Them two then deny power, for give power, for follow protocol. He bring the greatest wahala, argument, division, personality contest inside our revolution. Now say it be for the time for John Foncha. He bypass his second in command, go choose Joa at the advice of Bishop Rogan. Now, wait to be the impact of that decision, because whenever there is an injustice, whenever you undermine rules, logic, there are consequences. Our people have to know this history. The decision for bypass Muna, where he be the expect naturally for become the next prime minister, infuriate ye. He make a Muna a vex reach for place where he vex it reach for day. Now for the way Muna he put aside patriotism, he ignore everything will be important for the people them, for throw a curveball at Foncha. From there, the word Bele politics he enter, he be introduced for our system for Southern Cameroon. Since 1961, the East Cameroon, as it was called at that time, based on the constitution that was imposed upon us, they began a hard time for penetrate our territory, administratively, politically, because our people were very organized. We had a parliamentary system, not a presidential system. So there was no way La Republique, called Eastern Cameroon at that time, could penetrate us because we had structure. Even the individual were compromised, the structure was standing. We had a House of Chiefs, we had a legislature, House of Parliament, and it was difficult for them to penetrate us because even when our people were diverse, they were united when it comes to our national security, our integrity, and putting our people first. But this thing with Foncha, he put aside all principle for choose somebody because of something other than the country. He opened this hole for La Republique for penetrate we through Muna. The differences between Endele and Foncha had never given advantage to any other state party or any third party to penetrate us because their differences were based on political opinions and principle. Nobody had done anything personal till then of any significance. So the only presence in our country, West Cameroon at that time, was just an administrator. That is it. La République du Cameroun, they only could send somebody they call an administrator who was more like an observer, just sitting there in Boya. He have nothing to do because we were well structured. We have everything. They could not penetrate us. He was just an observer in our politics because decisions were all based in the parliament and all these laws that we have and rules. So Aijo immediately noticed it and jumped right in as they were expecting the next in line, Muna, to take power. Out of a sudden, they saw Jwa coming in. Aijo immediately see that as an opportunity and jump in. Aijo maintained contact with Muna, and Muna was now doing everything to destroy the government of Southern Cameroon or West Cameroon at that time. When I need for no say, Southern Cameroon began a police force where they call them mobile wing, where it be the frighten La République du Cameroon terribly. There was one incident where they began put them for test against the Makiza. The Cameroon military, they always send them to attack a post of the Makiza close to our borders. Cameroon military, they could come out for their kutaba, they could come for they could just stand for road, open fire for bush, shoot anyhow for grass. Hundreds of them come and go. They could not solve that problem. Jongo Foncha dispatched the Southern Cameroon mobile wing. They went there only with two vehicles, 8 of them in each vehicles. They packed their vehicles, went into the bush tactically, and captured over 100 Makizas without using a single bullet. Nobody was killed. So their presence in Southern Cameroon was a big threat to La République, and they did not know what to do. They also had an armory that had gone in secret. After the British left, the British did not go away with their arms. All their arms were transferred to the mobile wings, and they kept it secret. La République was worried and they could not penetrate Southern Cameroon because they had weapons. So those in the national security in West Cameroon, in West Cameroon, that means our Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia, had decided that they have to always maintain that posture of national security with their armory and keep it a top secret for Southern Cameroon. The presence of that armory and its mystery had kept Cameroon at a long distance from us. But now, the Muna went to Aijo in Yaoundé and now give out the secret of Southern Cameroon and tell them the exact amount of weapons we have and where we have hidden our armory. They had removed it from the government quarters that they were kept by the British and hide them in a plantation, in a warehouse in a plantation. Huge ammunition that was defending the whole Southern Cameroon. The British people, once they left, the security of La République or East Cameroon had come in, and they could not find the armory. So the mystery of that armory had kept La République at a distance. But now, Muna have gone and sell the secrets of Southern Cameroon to La République. Aidjo sent a team of military men. They invaded that area at night and captured Southern Cameroon armory. A lot of people were crying when they wake up to that news. The leaders of the mobile wing, the commissioners, all of them were crying and saying, we are gone. We are gone. We are left defenseless. And Joa at that time was serious about national security. He was a very serious man and had even intended to buy even more weapons because they were now preparing for a possible even challenge with La République. They were prepared for a possible challenge with La République militarily. Our people were not just all cowards. They had strong people in national security that were ready for La République if it comes to that. But without their armory and their arms, they were useless. The mobile wings were just left with the weapons they had in their hands. When the guns were taken, Aidjo started now taking out the ministry. He could now impose his will directly with no resistance. After all, resistance depended on power to a more extent than we could appreciate. So Joa as prime minister was really decapitated. He was fighting Aidjo, resisting, but there was nothing he could do. Physically, they could not do anything. And after they took the armory, that was when East Cameroon, La République deployed its gendarmes in our territory. They could deploy the gendarmes in our territory. Because we had no armory, we were defenseless. Aidjo started calling mobile wings one by one to Yaoundé and double their pay and keep them in Yaoundé in post and send back the news back home like a Romo. Just like sheep, they all knew they were helpless. They fell for it. Some of them were going to Yaoundé without even office to receive double pay. Those of top ranks that were resisting and stayed in Southern Cameroon, most of them were poisoned. So they transformed one of the best fighting force that we have and lure them with money. And they were basically falling over themselves, running to go and take money in Yaoundé. They were now being called federal police. So before the 1972 election, our people, before they could go to Victoria and Bamenda, was linked through La République also. They were passing through Kongsamba, Bafoussam, and these places. And they were using some type of a thing that is like a passport. They call it laissez-passer. It's a French document. For our people to cross their territory, they have to use laissez-passer. They will show it. It's like they will stamp it. When the people in Bamenda, when they reach up station to cross the border, they have to stamp it. It's like a visa. And you use it to cross through La République to go to Victoria. And majority of our people who are working in CDC have to be traveling. So they were using this document. We're clearly two separate states, two separate territory and administration that requires a visa to move around. That document was signed by the divisional officer, and people could not go into each other territory without that document. If you enter a vehicle, by the time the vehicle reach there, if you don't have laissez-passer, they will remove you. You spend hours and hours trying to get the document before you can cross the border. As they move towards 1972 with election every day, they start something where they call and say Kale Kale. At that time, the people they not be know it happened, but La République would send military people for morning time overnight. They could just round up people, them beat them mercilessly, rub them inside mud. Even our parliamentarians, even high level people, just beat them up like that. And then by the daytime, all of them have disappeared. So when our people were crying and sent complaint to Yaoundé, Yaoundé said, okay, they will send a commission of inquiry. They will send a commission of inquiry. So they put fear in our people. For the first time, our people were now looking at military people as people who are scary, who can beat people. And our people were now, when they were going to cross the border with La République, and the Kale Kale people, they will be asking for you two things: your membership card in the political party and your voter's card. When you have these two documents, they will allow you to go free. That was already a well-calculated move to make sure that all of our people are aligned politically. Even when you have laissez-passer, you are moving through La Republique, they'll ask you only two questions always: where's your party card and your voter's card, to make them align. So they were preparing for election already in 1972, and they were telling you, by 1972, if you were coming back in West Cameroon with your voter's card that is not stamped, you'll be in trouble. They'll harass you. So they were manipulating our people to participate in that fake referendum that they were planning to organize. So every Southern Cameroonians were now forced to buy CNU card for 100 francs. You have to buy it. You have to register for that political party. Political party now become like something that everybody must. It's a must. You must involve yourself in politics by force. People don't have choice. Their rights were taken away. So everybody was so afraid, and people did not have choice. People had to participate in vote out of fear. They had no choice. That is what happened. So 1972 election was a scam. Our people were coerced, were joined into a referendum with La Republique, and were meant to be 2 cubes of sugar. It was not a decision made by Southern Cameroon. Even if the entire Southern Cameroon had voted no, there would have still been they would have still gone through, because La Republique would vote in their own side and they would outnumber us. It was not fair for us. It was not an external expression of our will. We were coerced, we were undermined, we had no defenses, and there was nothing nobody could do. So as our people are observing La Republique celebrate the 39 year of Paul Biya Bivondo in power, I want our people to consider what our own leadership have gone through, and people to see how betrayal can undermine national security, and how the life of 8 million people today have been compromised. Principles matters. Law matters. Agreement matters. Arrangement matters. Dignity and integrity are crucial. Once you crack one of those, things fall apart.
I do so swear.
Today, we have been left with "I do so swear," the only word in English from La Republique, place for can take power. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be an extra episode of today podcast titled Amber to Amber, the Ram of Window, Put Door. That will be focused on the issues that surrounds certain debates within our Ambazonia nation that is ongoing. What should our people make of the internal rumble of the splinter IG group and some leaked audios that are in circulation. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good day. God bless you. Capo Daniel, signing off.